this continuum I've been talking about, that I started out with software, which was just computer science, pure software. As we moved into information technology, I was talking about hardware. You know, when you're playing in the gaming industry, you have nunchucks and joysticks, and you're working with special video graphics and interesting hardware to simulate some of these worlds. But you're very focused in one area, so you're talking about software and hardware. But then as we move past information technology towards information systems, my definition all of a sudden included two more things. It included people and the processes that they use with these tools. And when you start mixing people into this, very interesting things start to happen, and you really never know what to expect. Computers, as we all know, are extremely logical. You write a program, it's going to do what you tell it to do. It may not be what you want it to do, but you told it to do that, so it's going to do it. That's not quite what happens with people, right? You tell them to do something, and sometimes they do it, and sometimes they don't, right? Sometimes they do it the way they want to do it. So when you bring people into these systems, it becomes really interesting and exciting, because everybody's going to behave differently. You could have the exact same technology and trying to solve the same problem, but you're going to end up with different results. Look at all the different website designs we had today. And that's just because of the way people are interfacing with this technology and using it. So the point of having people here, it makes it interesting. So I'm going to give you another example. A few weeks ago, we had a seminar here, and a visiting professor was describing his research into social networks and the information that you can glean from it in businesses to better understand how your customers are using their products. And the example he gave was one of these, and I saw a few people who had these or had iPhones. This is an iPod, which was originally marketed as a portable media player. But in less than a year, Apple suddenly realized that they had to remarket it as a mobile computer, because people weren't just playing music on it or watching videos on it. They were downloading apps, they were creating apps, they were using the Wi-Fi on it to do a whole bunch of things, and that became the more important aspect of it. And that's a perfect example of where technology was designed and people decided to use it differently, just like my clients were measuring the flow of oil through a pipeline when they should have been simulating a circuit. So here, that's one way it can go. But the other way it goes is, how many of you would leave your house without your cell phone or your iPod? I mean, most of us, when we walk out the door, we automatically pick these things up and take them with us. We're always connected. And I'll tell you, 10 years ago, that's not the way it was. As a matter of fact, I was kind of happy 10 years ago some people couldn't find me. Nowadays, no matter where I go, they can track me down. And so our behaviors have actually changed, and how we walk through life. I no longer carry photos in my wallet. I carry them on here. I don't wear a watch because it's on here. I bring this to school every day because it's the quickest way for me to check my email. And as I'm driving to school, I'm listening to lectures on it. Not when there's a lot of traffic on the road, of course. But what I'm just trying to point out here is that when I bought this, I wasn't thinking about it for music. I was thinking about it as a way to use it in my day-to-day life to get other tasks done that I normally would have done by other means, either pencil and paper or make notes and think about it at the end of the week. So this two-way relationship between people and technology that makes information systems so interesting is constantly changing, and it's actually fun to build and explore, at least for somebody like me who likes to solve problems. Because computing is constantly changing, it's impacting everyone and everything in our society. Think about how we do banking today, or how we contact people, or even decide what to buy. Or look for information. I mean, even my 83-year-old father-in-law at this point got his first computer for his birthday this year, and he's struggling to figure out how to use email with all of his friends. This is not something we ever would have thought would happen, especially with my father-in-law. But he's recognizing that if he doesn't get on the bandwagon, he's going to miss out on a bunch of stuff that all of his other friends are doing, so he's adapting to this new technology. At least to him it's new technology. But if you think about things like the phone booth was something I grew up with. It's no longer in the landscape. If you think about banking, you used to go into the bank, and when I was a kid, you know, they gave out lollipops to us, and they wanted to see us because it was another touch point. Nowadays, when I go into the bank to make a deposit, they're like, well, you know, you can do this online, or maybe the ATM out there. So even how we do things to socialize has started to change a lot. And somebody pointed out to me something yesterday that I hadn't even thought about, but how many of you use Google or another search engine to check your spelling? Who would have thought it? And so, having stayed in computer science and worked in the industry for many years, I see information systems as part of a computing spectrum. This is a powerful concept because it permits research to be done on a sliding scale, with the emphasis being either in the hardcore software area or at the opposite extreme, focused on the nexus of where technology, organizations, and people meet and the ensuing chemistry that takes place. So, succinctly to put it, computer science is the discipline that creates the software building blocks that are used by IT to build domain-specific applications that can become part of an information system that is used by people to collect, filter, process, create, or discover and distribute information.